Hello friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back if you're returning. My name is Rachel and I'm a reseller on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And today I have what I would say is one of my most requested topics. I'm going to go over my best and worst mystery boxes of 2022. So if you want to see which boxes made the list, definitely stick around. So I have been doing unboxing videos on YouTube here since 2020. And in 2021, I made a best and worst boxes video. And I felt like it was a lot of work and I didn't get a lot of views on it. So I never did one for 2022. But this is a better late than never video because since I've been doing my weekly what sold updates, this is probably the #1 requested topic that you guys have asked me to speak on. So I'm going to make the 2022 video this month in September. And then next month in October, I'm going to do the best and worst of the first 6 months of 2023. So if you like reseller content, certainly consider subscribing to my channel. I run my online reseller business almost entirely off of mystery boxes, liquidation boxes. I always come on here, unbox them live, and then come back 90 days later and let you know if I actually made a profit. Drop me a like if you find this helpful. And if you asked me for this video and I'm finally making it, then definitely drop me a like. And what I'll do is I'll put the thumbnail of the video I'm talking about, the original unboxing video. I'll put it here on the side. I'm not going to link all of the videos in the description just because there would be so many, but if you search my channel, if you want to watch any of these original unboxings, there should be a video and a 90-day update for all of these boxes. And just full transparency, I feel like 2022 was a long time ago. A lot has happened since then. So we're really not necessarily talking like the highest profitable, the least profitable. I mean, that's a lot of what goes into what I've determined as the best and the worst, but also just like how easy it was to list, how long the stuff sat around, etc. I'm going to kind of throw that in there too, just because at some point, I kind of stopped tracking what happened last year. So we're so far into this year, it was a little bit difficult to go just based on how much profit I made alone. So I'm going to start with the 5 best. Well, actually, it's more like 7 best. You'll see what I mean. So the first one I want to talk about is the fall shoes and boots box. And I think this was Cozy. So Cozy Threads at the time is what Helpsy is now. They've changed names or rebranded, but at the time they were Cozy Threads, but it really is the same company. And I think you'll see in the thumbnail, but I'm pretty sure, because it's not in my notes, I'm pretty sure though that this was a Cozy Threads box. And I purchased this fall shoes and boots box in the middle of summer. And it had like the most amazing selection of boots, like great quality, super great brands. And the cost of goods was so low because it was off season and they probably just had so many they were trying to get rid of. That was one of my favorite boxes ever. I made a lot of money on that box. I mean, I didn't pay a lot of money for the box, but in relation to how much I spent on it, I made a lot of money. I want to say I close to quadrupled my money on that box. So that just goes to show sourcing in the off season, definitely beneficial. And this would be one that I'm not sure that in 90 days I did so great, because if I listed this box in June or July, maybe by September, October, some of them started to sell off, but it probably took a little longer. But at the end of the day, the profit was great on that box. Then the next one is the Helpsy Source New with Tag, which Helpsy doesn't even sell this anymore. They used to have a box called the Fundamental New with Tag boxes. I ordered a few of them throughout the course of when they were available. And this one in particular was like, I mean, this one was good. This one had a New with Tag Anthropology dress. It had New with Tag Hatch bathing suit, lots of brand name stuff. And like the whole box wasn't good. There was also a lot of stuff in there that was like not that good. But the pieces that were good were like really, really good. So I'm pretty sure I close to tripled my money, if not over that, on that Helpsy New with Tag box. The next one I want to talk about is also, well, Cozy Threads at the time. I think that 2022 is when Cozy switched to Helpsy. So that Helpsy New with Tag box was toward the end of the year. The next one we're going to talk about is Cozy, which is still Helpsy. But earlier in the year, they were Cozy Threads. This was a premium box, and this was, I want to say, and the waters were a little muddy here during the time. I want to say that this was a Rent the Runway Retirees box. It was listed as just premium. And I don't know. At one point, I tried their like Rent the Runway regen, like the flawed items, and it was awful. So I know that this one, like, I would not have ordered that box again. I think this one was just like the Cozy Premium retirees that were not damaged. But that one, when I actually got like quality stuff, that one was great. There was a lot of brand name rental retirees, things that retail very high. And I think there were a couple that I weren't able to list because of condition, but everything else in that box was amazing. Again, a box that I have not seen Helpsy Source offer, unfortunately. But that one was a fun one. And I actually got to learn about some brands that I had never heard of before, some higher end stuff that just you don't see every day at your thrift shops. Next up, if I were to do a top 5 and put these 3 boxes in, it would have been 3 of the 5. So I'm just counting this as 1. And this will definitely go to show you how things keep evolving, keep changing, and you have to really understand what's in and what's out, right? So the next 3 are actually Good American boxes from Boutique by the Box. And if you've been watching my channel, you recall I did purchase earlier this year in 2023, I purchased a Good American denim box that has not been doing nearly as great as I was hoping. And when I did the 90-day update, I even said, like, I was very disappointed with how that box is performing. And it's because these 3 boxes did amazing. So Boutique by the Box restocked this box, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. And it was more of an assortment. So there were like some jeans and some bodysuits and some tops and all that. It wasn't like how they have now where it was just jeans. And every time they restocked it, I ordered one. And every time I ordered one, I made a lot of money off of it. Now, that actually too was in my Whatnot heyday. I had a really good run on Whatnot between like Q2 and Q3 of 2022. And then in Q3 of 2022, I found out I was pregnant. I had some very crazy first trimester fatigue and sickness, and there was no way for me to continue doing live shows at that time. And then I tried to start live shows back up once I was feeling better, and it had fizzled out for me, and the landscape had changed. My customer base had disappeared. And so anyway, I may have made even more money on this Good American stuff had I actually like sold it on Poshmark or eBay, just because on those live sales, you know, it basically is an auction. So things are selling off a little bit for maybe a little bit less than if you were to just put it up for sale. But the stuff really did sell quickly. At the time, it was in super high demand. So I didn't want to list these 3 as 3 of the 5 top, but just know everything in 2022 Good American that I bought was a hot seller. Now, 2023 has not been the same, unfortunately, and I think that has a lot to do with market saturation, the fact that Good American now, they discount their merchandise on their own website. If I remember correctly, back in 2021, 22, that stuff rarely went on sale on their website. It was, you know, it was the price that it was. So if you wanted it cheaper than the website price, you had to go to the secondhand market. Now they put stuff on sale all the time. I've also seen Good American in places like TJ Maxx and I think Ross, Marshalls. So it doesn't have the value that it once did, but man, when it was good, it was really good, you know. And if you let me know in the comments if you had good experience with Good American last year, because I know that I did. And my top box for 2022, and I debated even talking about this because it was never publicly available, but this was a Boutique by the Box Daydreamer box. And what it was, I purchased it from their Instagram stories. So Daydreamer was hot in 2022 as well. I have not purchased any this year, so I really can't speak on how it's doing these days. But in 2022, Daydreamer was selling hot. It was selling high. And they had, Boutique by the Box had listed a flaw. It was like a heavily flawed box on their Instagram account. They didn't even put this up for sale on the website. It was like, I don't know, 50 or so pieces of like heavily flawed t-shirts and things like that. And that box was such a roller coaster because when I opened it up, it really was like a lot of stuff had pretty significant flaws or like manufacturing irregularities. And I really thought I had like wasted a lot of money. But once I actually listed the stuff, even with the flaws, like that stuff sold like crazy. I know that it was never available to the public. You probably did not ever have the chance to get your hands on that same box. It was literally a one-off that they sold to me on Instagram. But I mean, I made like over triple my money on that box. And it was a lot of work because of all the flaws to take pictures of and stuff. But it was so fun to watch like such flawed items do so well. You know, I think when we get flawed items, usually it's a huge bummer, but for them to actually be selling off was extra super exciting to me. So yeah, that's my top boxes for 2021. Pretty even between Cozy Threads / Helpsy Source and Boutique by the Box, which are really still the two main places I get my inventory from. I will say that this year I've been getting probably more from Helpsy Source. But yeah, it was pretty much even between the two for last year. Now the juicy stuff, the worst boxes. So these boxes, either I lost money on or they ended up just being a huge pain in the rear end or both. So here's 5 boxes that I absolutely hated from last year that were definitely not worth the money. The first one is actually a ThreadUp box. I haven't ordered from ThreadUp in a long time. In fact, I think the only thing I've ordered from ThreadUp this year were fun boxes, and those were awful, and I won't even be doing that anymore. But this was what they had labeled on their site as preppy casual, which was supposed to be secondhand J. Crew, Madewell, Banana Republic, I think, were the 3 brands. I don't know for sure because my entire box was Banana Republic. And I don't remember how many pieces it was or if it was by the pound. All I know is there was only like 6 pieces in the whole box that I was able to like actually list. And I think maybe only 3 or 4 of them actually sold. You know, between excessive wash wear, holes, stains, just not worth my time listing. I do think some of the pieces I may have like sent back to ThreadUp and maybe got a couple pennies for, but I mean, that box was nearly a total loss. It was very close to like not making any money at all. And of course I spent my time trying to get the stuff listed. So, I haven't seen that one available on ThreadUp. Maybe they don't have it anymore. And especially it was disappointing because like it was only the one brand. There was 0 brand variety in my box, which I guess of the 3, if they would have been substantial enough pieces, Banana Republic would have been okay, but no, this box was awful. I was super disappointed, and quite frankly, it was one of the last boxes I ordered that helped me kind of decide, yeah, you need to stop wasting your time on these ThreadUp boxes. Next up, and I feel silly talking about this box given my recent experiences, because you will see clearly I have not learned my lesson. So I purchased a Helpsy Source box, and it was J.Crew, Madewell, new with tag, new without tag, customer returns. Does this sound familiar yet? And this box was terrible. It was a bunch of basic t-shirts. A bunch of stuff had stains or irregularities or flaws. And it was super basic, J.Crew factory, didn't retail for very much at all compared to the amount that I paid for the box. Many of the things that were still available online were on clearance, deeply discounted, and I lost a lot of money on this box. Does this sound familiar? If you've been watching my channel, I'm sure you know which box recently I have purchased that was the same exact thing. So this one from 2022 was Helpsy Source. I haven't seen these J.Crew Madewell customer returns on Helpsy Source. However, Boutique by the Box has been purchasing and selling a similar variety. And I ordered 2 of them this year, and not shorts, but you'll see that they are, if you watch those videos, you'll see that they are of similar quality. All right, the next worst box, and this one I feel like is a long lost cause. I think at the time it was Cozy Threads. This was called the Tailgate Pack. And so what I guess there was like an expectation versus reality on this one. It was all like college athletic wear, I guess. But really, like, what it was the brand New You, which I had never heard of. And it was a ton of like duplicate stuff. And it was mostly like athletic shorts. And I had a very tough time selling this stuff off. It didn't retail very high. It wasn't something that was sold like widely on the internet. In fact, like Poshmark and Mercari, the brand isn't even like an option to put in like as the brand. Just a pain. And this stuff sat here for a really, really long time. I did eventually send a lot of it to ThreadUp, and I did get like $3 or $4 for each pair of shorts. There was obviously a much bigger market for that brand on ThreadUp for some reason. But that box was such a pain. I mean, I guess it wasn't as much of a pain per se, because with so many duplicates, it was easy to list. But I mean, you think you're getting one thing and you really like, you end up with this like garbage of cheap, fast fashion college wear that wasn't even like widely. It gets one thing if you go to the school, but it's like not schools that people widely cheer on, that have popular sports teams. They were like, just, I don't know. That box in general was not my jam. And I may have come close to breaking even a year plus later after I got some ThreadUp credits. But generally speaking, I definitely lost money on that box. Another one that was a big, big fail. This one was the very first box actually that I ever ordered from New Without Tag outlet. It was their luxury fashion retailer box, overstock box. And again, expectation versus reality. This one in the description, they had listed like Vince, Theory, you know, like brands like that actually retail pretty high. And the cost of goods with shipping for me was like $10 to $12 a piece on that. And then when I got the box, there was one like piece that was a little bit higher retail wise, but otherwise it was like Splendid, Caslon, BP. I mean, just awful, just awful. And I reached out to them and they gave me a partial refund on the box. I think it was something like about a third of the cost. And even with the refund, it brought my cost of goods down to about $7 per piece. And I still lost a lot of money on that one. Now that one also came in my Whatnot heyday as well. It was one of those things where I knew that the stuff that I had on hand was not going to sell anytime soon on my reseller platforms. I mean, I'm talking basics, like a BP, like plain long sleeve knit top, or a Caslon plain gray sweater. Like, yes, it was new with tags, but it was basically like last chance stuff. I mean, there was no way I was going to like get that stuff to move. So a lot of it, I just kind of let go on Whatnot. And a good bit of it is still sitting here, and a good bit of it went to ThreadUp. Some of the brands like ThreadUp didn't even accept. So, oh, that box was a mess. Thankfully, I have had better experience with New Without Tag Outlet since then. I haven't seen them have that box listed anymore. So we'll call it a learning experience. Any sort of Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's or Macy's like overstock, I'm going to stay clear away from, because I'm going to end up with another box like that. But it was not as bad as the worst box of last year. And I still to this day talk about this box frequently. So I'll give you one guess. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think it is. You may have guessed it. It was that holiday gifts palette from Helpsy Source that I ordered right before Q4 of 2022. So this box, it didn't, profit-wise, it did not do like as bad as it could have. And when I did the 90-day update on this one, I did say what saved this box was the Halara pieces. And I will give credit where credit is due. If it were not for me ordering this, I would have not learned how in demand Halara was, because I have made a crap ton of money selling Halara in 2023. But this box was 100 pieces. It was from Helpsy Source, and it was right before Q4 when I was in my first trimester. I hadn't been thrifting because I was so tired. I couldn't physically stand in the thrift store and look through racks. Like, that's how tired and exhausted I was during that time. And Q4 is my most profitable quarter of the year. So I was freaking out. I ordered this box, which in the description, it said it could include brands like Free People, Halara, and then like Revolve and Juicy Couture, or like there was a list, right? I get this box and it is like a third Halara, a third Juicy Couture, and a third of this technically sold on Revolve brand called By Sammy Ryan. And I very quickly realized there was a lot of duplicates of certain stuff. And the By Sammy Ryan especially, like, nobody wants that crap. And here I am. I had paid like almost $8 a piece. Oh, it was just terrible. And what made it so terrible was that I had to still list and store 100 pieces of stuff just to make my money back, which I never even really did. The Halara stuff, like I said, helped me get somewhat close to even, but I mean, really, for the amount of work I had to put into that box and the constant shuffling of stuff and all the listings I had to do and all the photographs, I mean, it just, what a waste. What a waste. I still have one tote full of stuff, which I guess isn't bad considering it was 100 pieces and I'm down to like one, not even completely full tote. But this week, I looked on ThreadUp, and ThreadUp does list by Sammy Ryan. So lately I've been able to get labels again, and the rest of everything I have, there's a few Juicy Couture and a bunch of by Sammy Ryan. It's all going to ThreadUp, and I'll take whatever I can get. That box was a nightmare, and I feel like it will be therapeutic for me to empty that tote that's been sitting here for almost a year now, full of crap that isn't selling, and just let it go, and we can put that box to rest for the rest of our lives. So that is the 5 worst. You heard the 5 best. I'm interested to let me know what you think, especially if you've been following me a while and you've watched my unboxing videos, past, present. Let me know what you think. Are you surprised with the top boxes? Are you surprised with the worst boxes? 2022 was a wild ride with mystery boxes, but now that I've shared 2022, I'm super excited to share with you the first half of 2023. I am waiting till at least October so that I can give everything I purchased in January through June at least that 90-day window to sell before I make a determination of best versus worst. Certainly consider subscribing if you like the unboxing videos. I do unboxing and 90-day updates very regularly on this channel. And that is it for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.